We are back. IPL killing spree. We're going to Game 3.
Yeah.
Game 3. So excited. Curse, CLG. It's just been back and forth, just like, who wins the aggressive early game.
Right, and it's a lot of it goes to, Dragon Control. A complete turnaround that last game. CLG basically winning every single team fight, whereas the first game, I mean, the game was over from, like 10 minutes on. Curse made sure of it. They, so we have very aggressive, teams here. They both actually were very passive through the, opening probably 10 to 15 minutes of both games. But then once they made their decisions, they kind of just went along with it and, just rolled with it.
Yeah, both of our teams they're in the game. They're very anxious to get going. I'm anxious. Obviously, because, this is our first, Game 3. It's our second episode, our first Game 3. I love these back and forth matches because now we see the picks and bans that are truly meant to be. So
this is what defines
both teams they've gotten a feel for each other. They know what works. They know what doesn't work. We might actually see a nice little defensive, overly defensive team comp for once. I don't know. Maybe we'll see more aggression. I don't know. I'm excited. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
And once again, reminder: we are giving away free things. Free things are always good. Razer mouse pad for you here. IPL hoodie right there on the back. I gotta get the unfolds out.
What is it? Is it the IGN Pro League?
So IGN Pro League on Twitter.
Okay.
We still have one more game to go. So go ahead, and tweet at us who you think is going to win, and you could win some clothes and a mouse pad. Always good.
Yeah.
So here we are. We are ready. We are rolling in. First ban right out the gate from Curse is Rise. Standard ban. Always a good standard ban.
I'd be kind of interested to see whether or not Maokai's banned this game because we
Yeah.
have seen both games. Maokai's won. In game 1, Maokai was such a huge part of Curse's team. He really just did a really effective job controlling the map. Game 2, not as much, but he was still very effective.
He did a great job with the ult mitigating all of the AoE damage.
That's right.
From Rumble, from Kennen, from sources unknown. Now maybe some lasers coming in from the sky. Maokai will protect you. Don't worry about it.
And, Kennen, also a really strong early pick, lost both games.
Yes, this is also true. So we got the Riven ban coming from CLG. Nidalee still being banned from Curse. I thought they would have let that go by now.
Yeah, I am a little bit surprised. Since both of these games, they really have been decided by the early game, and Nidalee doesn't really get going for a while.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you want to be very aggressive, then Nidalee can kind of slow down a game a little bit. Once again, a Vayne ban, pretty standard. Riven really was fearsome.
There we go. There's the Maokai ban from CLG. I think Curse was like, I'm sure, we got one ban left. I'm pretty sure we'll get Maokai. Nope.
Yep.
Not gonna happen. Chuck Desta.
So I don't know if Curse, they might take Kennen. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. They did use Zilean very effectively in game 1. I don't know if they'll switch back to that style. With Maokai gone, maybe they want to take one of the strong junglers like Nocturne. Not really that effective for them last game. But maybe taking a Rumble or something could really go anyway.
And we were actually having a small little chat before we broadcast. Wondering, we realized right before we were about to go on air that this is Ari and Victor, and we still have yet to see either one of them picked. I'm really anxious to see if we're going to see either one of them.
Well, my big disappointment is just no Jackie Vigar, and I can't really state enough how incredible that is. But we have the first pick for Curse is going to be Graves. He really is one of the strongest DPSers in the game. The passive just allows him to be really aggressive in laning phase and not really be threatened that much by large damage.
So I don't know. It's kind of wondering, what options. Seeing the previous 2 games that both these teams have.
Well, I would see a Sona pick by CLG.
Oh yeah, so Sona's an obvious pick. But I'm wondering now because both teams they've already gone through one game each where they've been aggressive and have lost and won. But we did have a mouse. Yorick has escaped the bans.
And this is actually this is like the most fun teams that you see CLG play. They play they're at their best when they're playing poke kite comps, and that's what Yorick and Sona is. Yorick is he doesn't have great range on his abilities, but the slow really allows him to allow his team to get out there, and then the movement speed from Sona. So it will give them great kiting capabilities. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Curse can engage on them, or if maybe they try different strategies, try and hold down various buff control and dragon and whatnot, and just not even fight CLG, because it's going to be very difficult for them to engage into a Sona ult through the slows and whatnot.
Right, so we're gonna see the Zilean mid again. I'm hoping that Lee Sin gets locked in. I want to see some Lee Sin action, because he is one of my favorite junglers.
And Zilean Lee Sin is just a fantastic combo.
Oh, God. Just put a bomb on Lee Sin and just let him do whatever the hell he wants.
And then Zilean, really just one of the most mana-hungry champions in the game. Lee Sin is just going to be feeding that blue buff all day.
Doesn't even need it.
And then, can be very aggressive in these team fights and have the Zilean ult to back him up. So,
right. Yeah, I mean, Lee Sin is just also a great character great jungler to engage.
Yeah.
You can either get in with that Q, get in with that shield. You gain all the position you need to start getting in with your E, getting in those slows. Wonderful, wonderful ganker, wonderful jungler. Ooh, and Corki being put on CLG. I'd like to see them.
It's the poke.
It is the poke. It is the poke. It is the missiles. It is the big daddy missiles.
Yeah.
And we also got Rammus being taken up by CLG as well. So Rammus Yorick.
I'm honestly not quite sure how Rammus fits into the comp. He is a very strong jungler. It's kind of weird. Rammus, I think what Rammus does for them is gives them some flexibility on how they want to run their team. They don't have to go purely poke, kind of comp. It does allow them to kind of, decide where they want to go, since Rammus is such an aggressive, jungler as far as initiating is concerned. Yeah. Corki is the poke champion, but the more I'm thinking about it, not exactly the ideal champion for Yorick, but I mean, still has a lot of effective damage. Generally, you want people who are very much auto-attack centric for Yorick. So maybe we'll actually see like an Infinity Edge or a Bloodthirster, more of a damage central build on Corki, as opposed to we saw I believe was building towards Triforce in the last game, and that's a pretty standard build for like a nuke Corki.
And we still need a mid. We still need a mid from CLG to go up against Zilean.
Yeah.
What are the options here? What do we got?
What would work good? I would probably go Gragas, to be perfectly honest. And
ooh.
I'm partial to Gragas. He's a lot of fun to play. He is a poke champion, and he does give them some initiation. Cassiopeia also a very effective pick if they decide to go that way. Great counter initiation. She will kind of make up for her team's lack of damage. Rammus doesn't have a lot of damage on his own. But if he can get his disables on Zilean mid, then Bigfatlp as Cassiopeia is just going to be reining in the pain.
Yep. And while we were busy talking about CLG, Curse did end up taking Tryndamere, and it looks like he's going to be going top lane.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that I really agree with that pick. It is going to be very difficult for Tryndamere to get involved in this game, I think. Tryndamere is a very effective laner. I believe he was nerfed a little bit coming into this patch, or maybe it was the patch before, a little bit on his heel, but he's still very strong, very effective laner.
He's still good. He's still good.
And the one thing he does have, Yorick is just a dominant laner against people who don't have sustain.
Right.
And that's the big issue. If you don't have sustain, then Yorick's going to be a big threat. But Tryndamere has great sustain. But how is he going to fight? How is he going to engage on CLG?
There's a lot of slows.
They've got lots of slows. They've got
taunt.
Some AoE ultimates. They've got a taunt onto Rammus, physical champion versus Rammus with all that armor.
And CLG got Rammus first, and Curse picked into. Did Curse pick Tryndamere after?
Yes.
CLG picked Rammus.
Yeah, they did.
Huh.
It should be interesting to see if Tryndamere can get to a farm state where he can, effectively, be with his team. Zilean with Tryndamere, that is a really nasty combo as well.
You get the double revive, basically. Yeah, you get the rage, and then you get the revive.
But the big key is going to be whether or not Tryndamere can get himself farmed and get himself involved in the game. If he can, then, you know, that's great. That's going to be fantastic for Curse. But it will be a struggle, I think.
Yeah, mid lane, top lane is going to be, I think, where this game is going to be decided. Tryndamere, he's got a huge hill to climb if he wants to be effective in this game. I would think, you know, if this does go, you know, to the early, I'll give it the early game to CLG, but if we hit late game, I think Curse may just go ahead and roll.
Mm-hmm.
I think
that's true.
I think we may just see that.
They do. I mean, Yorick fall. That's one of the biggest issues with Yorick. I you know, don't play him a lot. I'm not very effective with him, but he does fall off very quickly. You know, he's got a strong early game. He's got pretty good team fight presence with the ultimate. The ultimate, you know, is just fantastic for your DPS carry. You know, just really great at damage output. But I don't know, late game, that's all he is he's the ultimate. He doesn't have the best damage. He's pretty tanky, but you can generally just ignore him, and that's what you'll see a lot of happening later in the game. Curse can just completely ignore Yorick.
Yep, so these are your teams for Game 3, Curse vs. CLG. Curse running Tryndamere, Graves, Zillion, Lee Sin, and Tarek. CLG running Rammus, Cassiopeia, Corki, Yorick, and Sona. Game 3, people. IPL killing spree. We will be back with it in just a moment. Stay tuned. Welcome back. IPL killing spree. This is Game 3. Curse versus CLG. I can't think of a better way to end this series. This is good, man. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I want to get some more yelling. I want to do some more Fusra dying a little bit.
Well, we do have Red Bear and Corky here, so
we do. I know you like that.
Yeah,
I know you were disappointed. I know you wanted to see some Vygar, get some Baron Vygar in there. But you know, I think that's just as good. And look at Curse in that bush right there. They're making their intentions clear. Don't poke out of that bush, Tarek. Oh,
can he get the stun? He's very close.
He's very close.
Is going to be able to get out of there, actually. But
actually,
she's just too close. She flashes away,
right.
and there's the flash and the stun onto Corky. But with the cleanse, he will get out of there.
Curse has control of their blue buff right now. If they choose to take it, I think they will.
And that'll really hurt Rammus a lot if they do. I'm not sure whether or not they're going to stay. It seems like they are, but Rammus, you know, he really needs to just get his first jungle clear. And if he doesn't get his early levels, then he can fall behind and not be as effective as he can be in ganks, just because he's not a very fast jungler past those initial levels.
Yeah, Rammus, I feel, is kind of like in that same vein as like a Mumu almost.
Yeah.
Where, you know, you need to have a safe jungle. You need to get it right on the first go-around. Any interruption puts you so far behind. But you know what? I think Curse is, you know, more than content to just go ahead and, you know, take their own jungle. They've already put Rammus behind by forcing him to small golems. So Lee Sin is just going to go ahead, start at Wraiths, and make... is he going to go for red? Oh, looks like he is. So we might see some early play down bot lane. Oof.
Ouch. And we saw the exact same thing last week, CLG versus Goose. Goose actually threw Tryndamere top lane, and CLG ran their you know, support carry top. Here we have the exact same thing. It's not a Vayne.
It's not a Vayne, so it's not going to be quite as huge on the damage, but it's still going to hurt Tryndamere. Deja vu, man. Deja
this
vu.
Is probably not going to work out very
the nagging
well.
sense that you've done something before.
Yeah. Right off the bat, though, we do see, you know, Crumbzz on Lee Sin. He does have that red buff. He, you know, took it right after the race, so he is pretty fast, you know, getting that red buff, and he's going to be coming down very aggressively against this Yorick.
I'm just looking at Sona. I'm just looking at the Sona over here on CLG.
Just kind of wandering all over the place.
Yeah, Chauster is just kind of, you know, getting some wards down, just kind of like, you know, not quite sure where do I go from here, or just trying to get some coverage or some protection for Rammus even.
We see, even without Sona there, Corky already taking control of this lane.
Oh, yeah.
Sona's
just gonna
throwing some health pots.
Is gonna help even more.
He does have a cloth armor and 5 health pots, though, and that will help him out.
Yep.
You know, give him plenty of sustain, and then also that armor is going to help mitigate some of that damage.
Yep. So switching your AD and support top lane against the Tryndamere, pretty good idea. It worked out last week. Let's see if we'll see if it works again. Rammus has now realized that blue is still there and is taking it, moving away back up to the top jungle. Lee Sin gets spotted by the ward, top river. Let's see if they can do anything about it. They did push up pretty far. Chauster's still level 1. It's exhausted.
But
Flashes
Pobelter
away.
and Crumbzz are both very close to going down. If Corky gets this red buff, then that is all over.
Oh,
for the
shield
top
last
lane.
second.
Wow.
Shielded last second, but
But
Rammus
then
gets a
the
taunt off on
taunt.
Tryndamere. Spins away, can't do it.
And in the meantime, Cassiopeia was able to get a kill mid on Zilean,
Wow.
taking advantage of Zilean's weakness early game. But
It was a clutch. That was a clutch shield by Lee Sin, but would have worked a little bit better if he shielded Tryndamere also.
yeah. So right off the bat, a 2-0 advantage for CLG. And not only that, but Tryndamere is going to be falling so far behind in this top lane.
Yeah.
There's really nothing for him to do. And now,
like last week against last week with Goose, I don't believe Tryndamere died. He was just very continuous, forming up at tower. But now
we actually have the exact same setup as last game. And
we do.
Last game, with Goose, we saw Tryndamere forced to switch bottom because he can't sit top. He can't farm at all.
So this is the variation. So now we're seeing Trynd immediately go down to bot lane to see if he can't go ahead and improve his situation. He already is a level behind Yorick.
And unfortunately, the result last game was that CLG, they were able to switch their lanes, their top and bottom, which meant that they had a 4-3 advantage at Dragon, and it enabled them to get a 6-minute Dragon. Now, they don't have necessarily the same Dragon control this game. Cassiopeia, very strong, once again, at taking Dragon. She can just take it in a matter of seconds. Rammus, not very strong, but if Rammus can just tank it for them, then Cassiopeia is going to be able to take it, and here we have it. This is actually a 5-minute, 20-second, and this is just fantastic play by CLG right now if Curse is not able to get in here and counter this.
And Zilean is aware. He got the bomb on Cassiopeia. She just walks into the rest of her team and is like, hey, guys, I got a present.
They are getting very low, though.
Oh, Rammus is
probably going to go down. We actually have Lee Sin stealing
it
it, and then picking up the kill with the Q!
Yeah! Wow! Look, I see Lee Sin soar across with that kick, and I just, in my head, I just feel Troll going all the way. Just woo!
And there's the risk. So we have Dragon going down around 5 minutes, 30 seconds, incredibly early. But unfortunately, CLG didn't take it as fast as they wanted to. Cassiopeia wasn't able to get the damage on there, and then they were able to pick up the kill. Lee Sin with the fantastic steal.
Wonderful steal, and we've evened this game up immediately.
Yeah.
But we have the lane switch again.
And it's interesting, that would have been about a 3K gold advantage for CLG that early in the game. But that Smite still really, just saving him there along with the kill. And Lee Sin coming down bottom, he throws off the Q a little bit prematurely.
It was a good prediction. It was you have to always lead your skill shots with Lee Sin because you want to make sure that if they're gonna hit, they hit. If he's still in that bush and doesn't Valkyrie out, you can always come in with the E, slow him down a little bit. But even then, Tryndamere was still pretty much at tower, so I think it was just more of a tactic just to get Corky away. Yeah.
And Lee Sin, he is kind of shying towards bot a little bit. He wants to make sure that he can, maybe be aggressive, protect Tryndamere, and look at how low he's getting already. He's not going to be able to sit there and farm, basically, because Corky's just going to deny him all game.
Now, I'm very tempted almost to just let Graves have top and just stick Taric with Tryndamere almost. Get a Taric stun off on someone and let Trin just go ahead and just wail away on him.
And that is actually a benefit to Graves because of that passive. He is kind of, he's a DPS carry, but he's kind of more of a bruiser as far as DPS carries are concerned. So that actually probably would be a good decision. But right now they're comfortable with just switching back and forth. Goose, I don't remember who it was playing Tryndamere. I think it was Xmithy maybe. But he was able to just effectively, farm by switching lanes back and forth. But he will be a little bit behind levels, and if he doesn't get involved in the game, towards the mid game, I don't know. It could be difficult for Curse.
Yeah, no matter what, Trin switching back and forth between these lanes. Not only is he losing time in lane, but Graves is also losing time in lane as well, having to do the switch over and over. And Taric, he's the support. He can sustain. He's got his first GP10 item already, so he's not going to be hurt as much. Zillion going ahead getting that blue. Thank you, Lee Sin. We'll go ahead and take that mid. Hope he just doesn't lose it to Cassiopeia. But it looks like, Cassiopeia is going to go ahead and get their blue from Rammus.
Yeah, and Zillion, popping up here, maybe trying to get some free bombs on Cassiopeia as she walks by, and there they are. Just some free harass.
Yeah, he knows Rammus is nearby. He doesn't want to, press the issues. Wants to get a quick bomb off, get the health advantage.
And Zillion is a patient laner anyway. He wants to deal his damage over time. He's not really looking to, get some big fancy kills. Just get you low, maybe make you a little bit careless in lane. You get low and you want to sit in lane still, and then he goes for the bombs and beautiful dodge.
Misses the wonderful turnaround from Zillion. And Zillion's also all about time management as well. You have to time those cooldowns. You have to be very effective because those bombs, unless you decide to spend the mana to get them back, very long cooldown. So, but we may have an early tower. We have a relatively early tower down bot lane. Curse is going to go ahead and get that bot tower.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Both games with Goose, and then game 1 here, CLG, lost an early tower advantage, and they were kind of the passivity in lane. Allowed the enemy team to kind of run around and push down those towers. I think that might be something of a weakness for them. But then that second game, once they decided to group up as a team, they were kind of just running all over the place, taking down towers.
Okay, here's the thing about running.
Oh wow, there's the flash, but flash from Cassiopeia, and then the taunt from Rammus, and Tarek's going to be taking a ton of damage here. He is going to go down, but Zillion's ultimate is going to protect him there.
Rammus
and then the bombs.
There's the Q. Gets a kick. Lee Sin kick, just tosses Rammus away. Bomb finishes him off, but Lee Sin does also die in the interim. Graves is still lagging behind a little bit. Can these little zombies from York slow him down? No, it won't be enough, and he will get away. 1 for 1. Not too bad. Some flashes burned. But Trind is now back into a one-on-one situation with Corki. Everyone's in mid. Everyone is in mid right now. Trinidad, if you really want to, just go in. Go in for Corki. Look at that smash. That one massive smash. Big crit.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
he
did have to use the ultimate. It would have been better for him to just continue that engage, probably, or
I'm not sure
not
why
at all.
I'm not sure why he just didn't keep going in.
But it is interesting to note, they did go 1 for 1 in that last fight. But if Curse can take the fight to CLG and force them to fight away from Tryndamere, maybe draw a little bit of attention away from him, it will give him the opportunity to farm. He is pretty behind right now. He's only at 50 CS, but not that poor. So it should be interesting. It looks like he's building towards a Wriggles right now, and Lee Sin actually coming in. We do have the slow from Tryndamere onto Corki, and Lee Sin is going to be able to get this Q. Can he line it up?
Valkyrie's away.
He missed the slow. Perfectly timed Valkyrie. I'm surprised he didn't throw off the Q, but
good on both of them. Their timings were just right, but
I think Lee Sin he wanted to be patient.
We got a huge
set up a good
engage. York is out of position.
Dangerous.
He's sandwiching himself in between everyone.
Wow.
Corki falls at their own tower, and York is just trying to meander back behind the tower.
And
Cassiopeia,
great play by Lee Sin.
Cassiopeia was in that bush, but it is warded. Curse does know.
And it is interesting. All champions who have like knockbacks, Alistar and I guess it's just Alistar and Lee Sin. Janna as well.
Janna as well, yeah.
If you knock them into a wall, then the game basically counts it as a stun because it's already decided you're supposed to be flying through the air for a set amount of time. So Lee Sin, you're not going to move anywhere. But Lee Sin just knocking Corki into that wall forced his team to take him down very quickly. And because it's a knockback, that cleanse, it doesn't work. So, Corki with that cleanse, but, effective play there is able to kind of counter it.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see if we can get another one of those Rammus kicks while he has a bomb on him. Just kicks him into someone else, and a bomb finishes both of them off. I would love to see something like that. That would definitely be like a top 5 play of the week right there. But next dragon is already up. Simultaneous engagements here on both. But we do have a man advantage up on CLG. We're not quite sure, but Tryndamere
it is
getting kind of cocky, swinging that sword.
And in the meantime, York is just going to be pushing down this tower. He does have teleport, so he knows he can get in there when he needs to.
Yep.
So this is kind of just, a time waste for Curse right now.
Yep.
They did get the ward, so, he won't be able to get in as close as he wants to. They are going to take down this dragon very quickly, but here's the teleport from York, and they are going to try and get in the engage. And unfortunately, there's a split by Curse.
Rammus is slowed. He can't get into the fight just as quick as he wanted to. Sona comes in with the ult. Rammus falls. Stillion gets the ult off on himself, and Trinimir's in the middle of the fight. His ult has been procced.
Wow, this fight is just going huge for Curse.
Can't do much. And Cassiopeia is just stuck in the middle. Sona will fall.
And that's about as good as it
gets. 0 for 4.
Wow.
Wow, and the dragon.
Yeah, and the dragon. And
wow.
Zillion, almost going down very quickly there. But Zillion was comfortable with it. The Q from Lee Sin. Wow, is he going to keep chasing? He's got to get out of there. That's going to be a little bit too aggressive.
Play it safe.
But
take the blue, but Corki's still kind of hanging around.
A lot of times you think of Zillion's ultimate and you're like, oh, well, Zillion doesn't really need the ultimate. You want to put it on other champions. Well, you can put it on anyone.
You
really.
could put it on anyone.
And they know that. Wow. There's the kill onto Corki. But the
Corki just you stuck around way too long.
Right, but Zillion, CLG. All of their focus in that fight went towards Zillion. They're like, kill Zillion, kill Zillion, kill Zillion. Zillion threw on the ultimate, and he was like, yeah, that's not going to happen, guys.
Nope. Then at that point, it was, kill Tryndamere, kill Tryndamere, kill Tryndamere. Wait.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you have that thing, too. Right. Double revive, man.
CLG does have a, kite comp, so I'm a little bit surprised that they weren't able to get out of there a little bit more effectively. Maybe they needed to, make like a larger decision. Just say, hey, throw off a Cassiopeia ultimate, throw off a Sona ultimate, and get the hell out of there. Yeah. Because I don't know. I was surprised. Curse chased them down and very quickly won that team fight.
Yeah.
And for all that talk of mine earlier about how difficult it was going to be for Tryndamere to get into that game, we didn't see much kite at all from CLG, and so Tryndamere kind of ran him down. Zillion's bombs ran him down. They just threw off damage all over the place.
And here, I'm actually surprised in looking at Saintvicious' build on Rammus right now. There's no armor.
Yeah.
We have 2 GP10 items, and usually on a jungler like Rammus, someone who's very slow in the jungle, like one of the signs that someone feels they're behind as a jungler is they start buying GP10s because they realize that they're not going to be that effective in team fights. Oh wow! Look at that ult from Cassiopeia in their own jungle, but it's
that's
not
a little bit surprising. That's kind of like a lazy ult. I don't really know what she expected to happen there. Maybe she thought there was a ward in that brush. They did have a ward in that brush.
She did.
So maybe she was concerned. Tarek was going to engage her. I guess that's it. Tarek got a little bit too close for her comfort.
And Trinimir's just going to go ahead and whale this tower, no care in the world.
And then chasing after York.
York is going to get slowed,
and he is definitely going to go down here. I find it hard to imagine he's going to get out.
He's going to get chopped. Oh, can't get the
wow, but the taunt from Rammus perfectly helps him out here. We have one more bomb, but then he is going to get out of there, and Zillion goes down. There's the ultimate. Tryndamere actually has to back off as well. He still has his ultimate. So
I'm Curse, I think it would just benefit them right now just to back off.
Yeah.
Or, well, actually, no, CLG's actually going to go ahead.
Well, CLG is very low. York was low. Corki, already had to recall.
Yep.
So CLG, everyone from CLG is going to just back up, and this is a free tower for Curse. Just continuing to push. That's going to be huge. It is a 4-1 advantage.
Corki decided to go bottom, take that tower.
But even so, this is
that's
7K. Oh, wow.
Dashing right into Baron.
And they know
1650.
Look at that. Cassiopeia has to recall Corki's bottom.
Rammus is the only one in attendance.
It's a free Baron 17 minutes into the game.
Wow. So you get the ward down in from Sona. They know, but they can't do
anything.
Everyone's back at spawn.
The only thing that can save them is the Miracle Steal from Rammus. And Lee Sin's actually getting very low. And the Sona ultimate, but then Lee Sin with the Q and then the Dragon Kick. He almost goes down to Baron, but they're going to turn back onto it. It's very close to dying. Can they get Rammus? Can they get this Rammus before he steals?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There's the Baron. They were able to pick up the Rammus. I wasn't sure what was going on for a second. And there's Hotshot York going down. Ow. Wow. Tryndamere, he still has his ultimate, just kind of chasing off Cassiopeia and Corki. And
0 for 3 plus Baron.
10,000.
Curse is just taking so much control of this game. Rammus, I'm just, in this game specifically, just not, can't pull it out. There is no armor on the poor little guy, and he's just getting wailed on all day by Lee Sin.
And I'm just absolutely astounded by this play of Curse. I mean, they are really doing everything they can and just taking control. It's very much like Game 1. This game, Curse, it's almost out of hand for CLG. They're just so far ahead right now. But, they still have a chance. Kite teams, they do kind of take a little bit of time to ramp up, and, they can kind of stall the game some. So, we'll see whether or not they can do that. But Tryndamere, Zilean, Lee Sin, everything about Curse's team right now is just working very effectively, and they're able to just, do whatever they want, and CLG has not really had much say in the matter.
When you think about an early Baron is that, the enemy team, usually when you grab an early Baron like this, the enemy team usually has a whole bunch of towers still up. So we still have two tier 2 towers still alive, still kicking. So I mean, we could definitely see a push to an inhibitor. Yeah. At least one inhibitor down from this push.
Well, actually, the one thing that they really need to be careful with, Curse, because it is a kite team, because they have the counter initiation of Cassiopeia and Sona, you don't really want to be too aggressive under this tower. You want to allow CLG to bring the fight to you. So we might see this stall for a little bit, actually, and maybe go another couple of minutes and lose Baron, just because Curse will not want to engage underneath this tower.
And Rammus is not really doing the best job right now as being the front man, the damage soak for CLG. Just Hadouken, a time bomb, and he's already at half health.
And neither is York. I mean, York, he got the early man immune, but
that's it.
Yeah, because Curse is just pulling so far ahead, he doesn't have any damage mitigation. He's got the one cloth armor. That's it. So,
and I also realized earlier on too, so we may have had a 2v1 against Tryndamere top. That was a 2v1 versus York bot, and they just used that to advantage, get Lee Sin in bot lane, and made it a 3v1, and CLG didn't really do much to stop it.
Yeah, and you do see Curse being very patient, just getting a couple of hits on this tower. York trying to bait out the fight, and they, were having none of it. They just backed right off because they recognize their advantage right now, and they don't want to give CLG an opportunity to get back in this game.
Yep, so they're just going ahead, pillaging their entire jungle. We're going to be probably taking another tower. We got another dragon being taken right now by Curse. And, like I said last cast, I'm going to say it again. When you're ahead, that old StarCraft 2 mantra, what do? You get more ahead. Thank you. So we're trying to bridge the gap. We're doing the best we can.
The flash taunt, but then the perfect cleanse from Cop, and Rammus just desperately trying to get an engage here. He can't really get to anyone.
Away.
Back, rolling away. York's got to chase out of here, but there's the bombs and the ignite. York goes down.
Cassiopeia does get the ult off on pretty much everyone, but it's only just to keep him off the tower just for a few moments.
Yep.
Rammus just gets kicked and just starts going the other way. I'm like, okay, I'm out here.
And there's the jump into Corki. Corki's going to have to back out.
Rammus is just trying to taunt someone under tower, but everyone else just decides to leave the fight, leave him alone to die. Curse is going to go ahead and take this tower. They're going to take the next one. Then they're going to go to the inhibitor. Then they're going to go to the Nexus turrets. Then they're going to take the Nexus. Ah! That was bad.
I didn't say it.
This is going to be, I think.
I'm just kidding.
Curse is probably going to go ahead and take it. Follow. The Baron's going to. Baron has just decided to inspire.
It's interesting. CLG, they can't get any kills. They can't get anyone low. Cassiopeia, for all the damage that Cassiopeia has, what is she accomplishing? Nothing. She threw up the ultimate to try and save York, and unfortunately didn't get a whole lot of damage output onto anyone.
CLG they can't get that. They can't get that initiation they so need. Sona's in the back. Rammus and York can't really take the damage they need in order to get those first few pokes in. And as we said earlier, Tryndamere, he's got the BF.
Oh, Corki, don't do it.
Oh, Corki,
don't do it, Corki.
Oh, Valkyrie's away. It's not going to be.
But the perfectly timed Q, he actually cleanses and then the exhaust, so he's going to go down.
Wow. See, we were talking about Tryndamere earlier too. He's got his farm. He did finally get his farm up. What's really good about his farm? 317. Those assists helped him immensely, despite his unfortunate standing in lane.
Yeah, I mean, just look at all the scores for Curse. We've got a 14-3 game, 7-2 for the towers. I mean, it's basically what happened the first game, and they took an early advantage. They had a very aggressive team comp, and then they just pushed with it all game. They did take the tower mid. I would expect them to just kind of group up and take this inhibitor, and it's going to be very difficult for CLG to defend it.
Yeah, so we will see this inhibitor probably go down shortly. But yeah, Curse just has pretty much this game on the lock. I mean, granted, a bad like Zillion ult or a Tryndamere ult that just doesn't go off, you might see a little bit of a resurgence from CLG. But I think at this point,
they're looking for more of a miracle than a resurgence right now.
Yeah, a miracle would help, but even a miracle, I'm not sure if would do much for CLG.
And there's the
right
inhibitor,
now.
and Yorick is going to go down very quickly, followed by the Rammus. He's actually right in the middle of the team.
Corky comes in, tries to do as much damage as he can. Cassiopeia is just trying to keep that poison going, but it's not going to be enough.
Tryndamere with the ultimate into the Zillion revive.
Because sometimes you need that insurance.
Yeah,
you need that insurance
he
sometimes.
Used it.
He used it, and you know what? It's a 5-on-3. We're down to we're gonna be down to Nexus Towers in just a moment. So I'm.
Yeah, and this is going to be a GG any second now. I would expect a surrender. There's the Q in from Lee Sin.
Oh, Lee Sin, don't die yet. No, okay, we're good.
But I mean that really effective play. I was surprised. Nothing worked out for CLG the way they imagined it, and we saw. I mean, a lot of it was like a mirror of the game versus Goose.
It really was.
Except that everything went in Curse's favor, and they just played fantastically the entire game.
The biggest moment for Curse was right at the beginning, that Dragon Steal.
That Dragon Steal. 5 minutes, 30 seconds. But that's, I mean, CLG, they got the fight they wanted early. They got Tryndamere to come bottom, so they had the team advantage. I think it was like a 5v3. It was a 5v3 at Dragon, I believe, and they lost the Dragon. They lost a kill. Yorick died as well.
Yeah. And there's the GG. Your winner for this series.
Yeah.
Curse Gaming pulling it out, man. It's the aggressive play back and forth, man.
And I think the best thing about this is Curse is kind of that forgotten team.
It
I mean,
is.
for the longest time, Curse has been up there. They've been, probably like the I don't know, probably like 5th team. They're a very strong team, but they never quite made it in the tournaments. They never quite got the advantages that they were looking for. But here we saw they were able to just really effectively. I mean, they outplayed CLG in 2 of those games. CLG did have a very effective game too.
Yep.
But really aggressive play. I mean, we saw a 5:30 Dragon. We saw a 16:30 Baron.
Yep.
We saw towers going down all over the place.
Man, and what really got me too was so we had our play. We had our Tryndamere play.
Yeah.
The same thing that happened last week worked really well against Goose, not so much against Curse.
Yeah.
And I think what really did it is that Curse realized, okay, listen, they're playing really aggressive top. Well, we need to match that. We need to match that bot lane.
Right.
Get a 3v1 going because there wasn't really too much of a push on top lane from CLG other apart than just the lane presence.
Right.
And just bot was pushed. Yorick got pushed in. They took that first tower, and from that point on, it was just everything just kind of steamrolled.
To think we were sitting there talking about how they need to start pairing Tarek with Tryndamere.
Yeah.
Just to get him in the game.
Yeah. Not this.
Who knew?
I mean, I think that also could have been just as effective.
Yeah.
But hey, a 3v1 works too. I think that works just fine.
But I mean, that's really what you have to do a lot of times is if you get any kind of advantage, just really aggressive play and recognizing when you have opportunities. And that's what Curse did 100% through Game 1 and then Game 3. They recognized their opportunities and they just took them.
Yeah, and I think just the big overarching theme, I think for this series was just bad luck Rammus.
Yeah,
bad luck Rammus. I feel bad. I do. He's a cutie. I mean, Rammus. I just want to pet him and hopefully not get impaled. But Rammus, man, just got shot down.
And it is kind of interesting. Yeah. We were talking about how Rammus is kind of a contradiction to the rest of their team comp. They had very much a disengaged team comp, but he did give them some flexibility. He did give them, the taunt wasn't really effective for most of the game, unfortunately, but I think a lot of it had to deal with the fact that Cassiopeia wasn't able to deal the damage that she wanted to. Yeah. She did have the only 2 kills for CLG. Or I'm sorry, there were 3 kills, but two of the kills for CLG. But I don't know, generally speaking, in team fights, they were kind of running and scattering, and they didn't have the organized fights that they wanted.
Yeah. So that will just about do it for this week. Your winners, Team Curse. So Curse Gaming, we are really excited to see you guys play again next week to try and get yourself another $300. But that's not all for tonight, is it?
No, we have an interview with Elementz from Curse. We have him on the line, so let's go do that right now. Should be pretty exciting.
Curse, Team Curse, we have Elementz with us right now. Let's go right to that interview.
All right, so basically, I mean, the big news for the whole match series, Curse, they've been around for quite some time and been really a competitive team, but haven't had the big breakthrough tournament or anything, and just things not necessarily going their way. But then we have the switch, Doublelift going over to CLG, and then you're hopping on with Curse. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, I don't care. Oh, like, is this like you're asking?
Yeah, sure. I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, it was definitely, it seemed to work out for the best. You guys definitely had a lot of chemistry, and it was really aggressive play all throughout.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that I fit actually quite well in the Curse. I think we get along great. And granted, we're like kind of a new team since like Cop kind of was new and Crumbzz is new and I'm new, so it's like 3 new players on the team now. So I think we flow really well together, and we're getting better and better and better. The tournament before we couldn't even touch CLG. They kind of pooped on us, to say the least, and now we beat them 2-1. So it's like we're making progress, we're doing well, and I think we got a good chance of being a top tier team. Yeah,
it sounds like this was just a really big win for you guys, just to get the confidence that it's like, yes, we can beat them. We do have the power to just take on any other team that we can.
Yeah.
So so I think we can go into some little bit of game specific stuff too, because I want to go over Game 3. While we were casting, we thought of the hypothetical situation of maybe having a Tarek Tryndamere impromptu lane switch. But so why did you guys all stick bottom?
Well, the York, I don't think, can sustain a lane that well, 2v1. And then our Tryndamere is kind of the same thing. Tryndamere gets like really, really shut down by 2v1. So we decided that I would go roaming Tarek and kind of, go around the map, helping out lanes and pushing where we needed to. And I think we just transitioned better than CLG did, and it worked out better for us. We were quicker to gank the lanes, push the lanes that need to be pushed, and control the map. So I think that's what really won us that game.
It did work quite well.
It was actually that whole dragon fight early on in Game 3 was just really surprising, actually, because CLG, they had a 5-3 advantage. Did you guys expect that they were going to try for a dragon when you guys did the lane swap, Tryndamere coming bottom?
Oh yeah, we knew they were going for the dragon at that time. So we were transitioning once again to fight them.
Throughout all of the games, really, one of the big things that we saw from you guys in particular was just really great map awareness. And as a team, Maokai for his map control, and then just everyone on the team really aggressive with ward coverage throughout the games. Kind of passive play early on, but just trying to get in the game and whatnot. Is that something that you think is a particular strength of your team, or that you've worked on and just?
Yeah, well, ever since I quit CLG, I've kind of adopted this method of I don't really get oracles at all on support. Generally, all the support players get oracles. And try to clear wards and that stuff. Really, I just buy pink wards, tons and tons and tons of pink wards, and I just pink ward everything. And chances are, there's going to be wards in the spot you're pink ward. If you put a pink ward at dragon, there's a high chance you're going to find another ward and you're going to take that ward, right? And that's actually why I buy pink wards at level 1 too, so I can counter any ward that they drop down. And that really puts pressure on the lane, because you don't know where the jungler is. If you don't have sight, you don't know what's coming, and you can actually control your lane a little bit better if you have the sight and you have the ward control, right? So that's kind of what I adopted, and I actually noticed Curse is like really, really good at warding their lanes. Like Pobelter top and SYDTKO middle, everyone's buying wards for their lane. They're being self-sufficient in terms of their own map control and making sure they're winning their lane and not going to be ganked and that kind of stuff. So as a team overall, I think we do a great job of map control. And
there's a lot of oracles play though in games 1 and 2. Like they really were like big deciding factors, I feel. So but the early pink wards though, I I honestly think it's a fantastic investment. I should be doing that myself more. But and then we also had a lot of quirky play today also.
Yeah.
So why the quirky pick?
Well, Corky's pretty good at farming versus pretty much anybody. He's got the range with his general range is okay, but it's his Q and his ability to just clear waves and poke with his R that give him the advantage in terms of just farming. And also Corky has his 10% true damage on his passive, right? So Corky, on top of tons of magic damage with his missiles and stuff like that, and in his Q, he does tons of physical, true, and magic damage. Like Corky is just like amazing damage wise, right? So just picking someone who we need a lot of damage, we need some control who's going to lane well bottom, and Corky kind of fits that. He's not crazy good in that sense. There are some champions that fit situations better, but Corky's more of an overall I can pick him and I can feel safe playing him.
Yeah, I do also remember not too long ago, I remember casting a few scrims with you guys, and Cobb was actually for a while really going with a lot of Caitlyn.
Yeah, well, Caitlyn's great for lane control and kind of controlling when you push and stuff like that. If you push towers, you got 3 traps down, it makes it really hard to engage on her. And then again, the lane control she's got, throw that in the brush, people can't go in there. It's harder to get ganked, and that's just what Caitlyn does. She's more about control than anything.
One of the things I was kind of wondering with all the matches, Hotshot, he is very well known for his Nidalee play and has, kind of carried a lot of games in the past, but all these games, they seem to be about early game control and, lots of aggression. Did you think that you needed to ban the Nidalee? Or, could you have let the Nidalee go because it would have resulted in a more passive play from CLG?
Well, it is one of Hotshot's obviously best champions. The thing we know that CLG does, or I know that CLG does, is they really have this one strategy. It's poke comp, and they run Nidalee, Caitlyn, and Trundle, and they just siege you in all day long. And it's a really powerful strategy, and it's a really good strategy, and really that's CLG's only strategy to my knowledge. So we took that away from them, and we just beat them straight up, picking random champs we think we're going to counterpick, and our own little strategies. And I think it worked out.
It did indeed.
Game number 2, though, CLG did kind of mix it up. They had a pretty early game team, lots of AoE damage. A lot of the fights, it seemed like maybe you guys were trying to force initiation. Do you think that was perhaps an issue, or maybe you needed to, extend those fights a little bit?
No. I'd say we just got outpicked completely that game. We saw the Rumble and Kennen, and those are 2 very strong and sought after champions, and we're like, yeah, let's get both of those right away. Those are really good. They're really good in lane and that, and yada yada yada. Even though we did great in lane and stuff like that, and we were we had our, I guess I think we were winning that game if I remember correctly. But when it came down to team fights, they just outpicked us. They outcomped us, and that's what it came down to. That's, in my opinion, the sole reason we lost that game is because the Galio pick, and I can't remember who the other guy was that they had that was really countering us.
They had Galio, Cassiopeia, Sona, Maokai. So
yeah, Maokai.
Really
Maokai,
the full AoE
Maokai and
negation.
Galio that just 100% countered us. We were like an AoE comp, and they just went anti-AoE and put us in our place when it came to team fights. And really, that's why I think we lost that game. It was just outcomped. CLG picked us.
But do you think in that situation you would generally try and kind of change the game strategy? Because it was basically, Nocturne would jump right into the middle of the team and, get AoE'd, and, everyone would kind of just run right into the AoE.
There was lots of stupid plays. Not to call out Cop, but we all had a laugh about this. He accidentally W'd into Galio's ultimate one of the team fights, and he's like, "Yeah, this was my bad." And it happens, you don't mean to make those mistakes, but it happens sometimes. And that was the one team fight. It was by our blue, I think, and I think we had that team fight pretty well down pat. And then Cop went instantly died out of nowhere, which was we all kind of had a laugh about that. But yeah, I don't know. It was a really hard team fight hard team comp to fight against with our team comp.
I think that is still the sign of a good team. The fact that you can, you still make mistakes, but the fact that you can laugh about them and not, bicker amongst each other. The fact that you realize, you learn from your mistakes and just you have a laugh.
Yeah, well, Curse isn't. I don't know. Curse isn't like that. It's a totally different environment. I mean, not to bash CLG, but I think everyone's watched the live streams of everyone at each other's throats and yelling and just overall negative environment to play in. In Curse, I don't know. We've never even like I made mistakes. Everyone on the team has made mistakes, and it's just like whatever. We'll get it next time. Like no sweat off your back. And I think that's a great motto because if you mess up, you messed up. If I mess up, I know I messed up in terms like in front of 10,000 people if we're doing tournament play. Like I already feel like crap because I messed up. So why would my teammates put me down even farther if I messed up? That doesn't logically make sense. After the game, you can say hey, you shouldn't have done this, yada yada, and you can go into more detail. But like when you're in the game, you really don't want to dwell on the fact that someone messed up because that's just going to lead to negativity. People are not going to be like feeling good and they're not going to want to try as hard because they're down, right? You want to pick people up, it's like say it's not your fault, it's okay, don't worry about it, and you keep going. And I think that's really what Curse does well.
I like it.
I guess one last question for me for the games. In game number 3, you guys kind of had a heavy melee comp. You had Tryndamere and Lee Sin kind of looking to initiate, but CLG they had a pretty strong kite comp. They had Yorick, they had Sona, Cassiopeia. Was that a concern at all that maybe you weren't going to be able to get the initiation that you were looking for?
I think we were a little bit concerned about the lack of AP damage that we had, but it worked out in the end. I mean, if in that situation, if it went like late game and everyone had stacked armor, then we would have been in trouble. But it didn't work out like that. We won our lanes. Everything went smoothly and into our favor, and we ended up winning the game. But we were concerned about that as a team. We were kind of lacking that AP damage because obviously that's a big factor. You just stack armor and your team's pretty much countered, which really sucks. But we won that game and can't really say anything else about it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so congratulations. Enjoy the $300, and we will see you again next week.
Okay.
All right. So
thanks for coming on, and congratulations. Good luck with against V8, but then also good luck with IEM Kiev. That should be pretty exciting for you guys.
Thanks a lot, guys, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you. So once again, congratulations, Team Curse, for winning this week. We will see you guys again next week. We'll see you again next week. You'll see us again next week. We have another episode of IPL Killing Spree. Same time, same place, Thursday nights, 5 p.m. PST.
Yeah, and once again, I'm the Red Baron. This is HatPerson. You can follow me at BaronCast on Twitter, and you're
at HatPerson.
At HatPerson.
Right here.
Make sure to check us out, youtube.com/IPLLOL. We should have a lot of exciting stuff coming out in the future.
And always stay here, twitch.tv/IPLLOL. And always follow the IGN Pro League on Twitter at IGN Pro League. So from all of us here at IPL, myself, Red Baron, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you guys again next week. See you then.
See ya.
Yeah.